Bonjour Year 8, welcome to this week's French lesson. As ever, I'd like us to start with an activity based on last week's fact book learning. So for now, if you could have your fact books closed, let's see how much you remember. I'd like you to read these 5 sentences and tell me if it's a positive, positif, or negative, négatif phrase. Just pause the screen here for me. So number 1, j'adore le jazz. It's positive. I love jazz music. Just a second. There we go. La musique classique, c'est ennuyeux. Classical music is boring. That's negative. Je déteste le R&B. Negative. Ma chanteuse préférée, c'est Adele. Positive. My favourite singer is Adele. And finally, trickier phrase, ça me donne envie de danser. It makes me want to dance, is positive. If you didn't know some of the words there, go back and look at last week's fact book and practice a little bit more. So we'll move on to this week's work, which is to do with les vêtements, clothes. Mon style could be your title, that means my style. I want you all this week to remember at least 5 items of clothing and 5 colours. Most of you will be able to change adjectives in this week's lesson, that means colours, to describe clothes. And some of you are going to also use the future tense to talk about your future outfit choices. So, all I'd like you to do is, with your fact books closed, because obviously the answers are there, I want you to work out in your head which of these French words matches each of these pictures. And your challenge is to answer the question, why have I separated the clothes into 3 different coloured blocks? So we've got red and this sort of dark bluey colour and green. So pause the screen here and try and answer those questions for me. Now I haven't given you the answers because they're in your fact book. So you can now open your fact books and use those to see whether you guessed right or not. That's what I want you to learn this week, those clothes. And the answer to why I've separated the clothes by coloured boxes is the classic answer, masculine, feminine, and plural. Un sweat à capuche, a hoodie, is masculine. Un jean, jeans, is masculine. Une veste is a jacket, and that happens to be a feminine word. And des baskets and des bottes are plural. So trainers and boots, that's a plural word. The only one that's different between English and French is this one. We say jeans, they say un jean, like a singular thing. So, how do we tell in French if a word is masculine or feminine? Here's some clues. Now, it doesn't work out 100% of the time, but most of the time, you look at the ending. If it ends in any of these 4, then 99% of the time, it's going to be a feminine word. If it ends in E, I-O-N, E with an accent, or E-double-T-E, the vast majority of the time, that's going to be a feminine word. So, again, without looking at your fact book in front of you just now, can you tell, and there's a couple of extra ones here, extra types of clothing, can you tell which ones are feminine and which ones are masculine? As I say, I'm not going to go through all of them because you have them on your fact book, so you can use that to check and see whether these things are masculine or feminine. Une veste, it's got an E on the end. Un pull, une jupe. These are the plural ones. Des bottes, des baskets, and I added des chaussures. Chaussures are shoes. So, if we want to write in sentences about what we wear in French, then we need to know the word for à and some. Now, you've seen these for the last 2 years, so there should be nothing unusual here. The word for à is either un or une, depending on whether it's a masculine or a feminine thing. And the word for some is always des. Doesn't matter whether it's masculine plural or feminine plural. So, could you, either from your memory or using your fact book, pause the screen here and to tell me how to say these 2 things in French? So you should have un pull et des bottes, a jumper and some boots, and une veste et une jupe, a jacket and a skirt. So we've used both types of a and some. Okay? We're going to add adjectives now to describe the clothes that you wear. So that's why in a little side box on your key facts book is colours, which I know you've seen lots of and you probably know all of them already. So, knowing whether a noun is masculine, feminine, masculine plural or feminine plural will tell us what ending to stick on our adjectives. You've been practicing this since year 7 and earlier on in this unit. Patient means patient, but add on an E and then it's describing a woman. Add on an S and it's describing more than one person. And did you know that colours are adjectives, aren't they? They're describing words. They describe the colour of something. So unfortunately, colours change depending on whether it's a masculine singular thing you are describing, a feminine thing you are describing, a masculine plural thing you are describing, or a feminine plural thing you are describing. I wish I had you all in front of me now so I could see whether you were getting this or not. But what you need to take from this is that adjectives change to describe either a masculine thing, a feminine thing, or a plural thing, and so colours are no different. Most of them, or a lot of them, don't change at all. So rouge stays rouge, and then if it's a plural, it's got an S on the end. Des baskets rouges would be some red trainers with an S on the end. So that's the first thing to remember. The second thing to remember is that colours go after what they described. So look at my two examples here. I've told you a green shirt, or we found the word une chemise in our fact book means a shirt. We realise it's feminine, so we have to use this column because it's feminine, and the feminine version of green is vert with an E on the end. So une chemise verte is a green shirt. If we wanted to say green shoes, we saw earlier des chaussures as some shoes, and it's feminine and plural. So we use this column to find out how to say green if it's a feminine and plural word, and it's got an ES on the end. I know that's a lot to take in. See whether you can translate these 5 sentences for me. Some black shoes. Well, I've given you some green shoes as an example above. So you only need to change one of those words. You need to change the word from green to black. And then try the other 4. Pause the screen here. So some black shoes would be des chaussures noires. So we just picked the word for black if it's a feminine plural thing. A blue shirt, une chemise bleue, it's feminine, so it's got to end in an E. A pink shirt, oh, how random. Une jupe rose, some white trainers, des baskets blanches. Now I put number 5 as a tricky one on purpose, because we say some black trousers, whereas they just say un pantalon. It's singular, like a trouser, which is a bit strange. So what I want you to take from all of this is 3 steps. Number 1, do we need a or do we need some? Then the item of clothing, des chaussures, une chemise, une jupe, and then the colour goes on the end and it matches the word at the beginning. If it's des, it's going to end in an S. If it's une, it's going to end in an E. If it's un, it's just going to be this first column here. 3 parts. You need the word a or some, you need the type of clothing, and then you need the colour on the end. So, at this stage, and for this week, I want all of you to remember 5 items of clothing and 5 colours. Now, most of you, hopefully, will get your head around this, and you're going to be able to change the colours to match the clothes that they describe. And some of you will use the future tense to talk about future outfits, so things you are going to wear in the future. Here's the verb to wear in the present. Je porte, I wear. Tu portes, you wear. Here's it in the future. Je vais porter. Tu vas porter. How do we know how to make the future tense? Simply, we watch this video, which I'm sure some of you will be familiar with. Let's just listen to 30 seconds of it. Okay, I hope you were singing along at home before it gets into the dance break there. So we take part of aller, je vais, tu vas, il va. You choose that person, and then you just stick on the verb on the end. Je vais porter, I'm going to wear. Tu vas porter, you're going to wear. So, some of you this week will be able to use the future tense to talk about what you are going to wear. So what we're going to do is you're going to hear 3 people, and in fact those 3 people are all going to be me. You're going to get sick of hearing my voice. And what I want you to do is to write down the activity they mention and what they're going to wear to do that activity. So you're going to hear these questions. Qu'est-ce que tu vas faire? What are you going to do? Je vais... ... I'm going to whatever activity. And you're going to hear Qu'est-ce que tu vas porter? What are you going to wear? Je vais porter... ... I'm only going to say them out loud once, but obviously if you need to rewind and hear a bit again, just rewind the video a bit. So here we go. What are they going to do this weekend, and what are they going to wear? 1. Qu'est-ce que tu vas faire ce week-end? Alors, ce week-end, je vais faire du camping. J'adore ça. Et qu'est-ce que tu vas porter? Je vais porter un jean et un pull noir, parce qu'il va faire froid. 2. Qu'est-ce que tu vas faire ce week-end? Ce week-end, on va aller en ville et on va manger au restaurant. Et qu'est-ce que tu vas porter? Je vais porter une chemise verte, un pantalon bleu, et je crois que je vais aussi porter une veste. 3. Qu'est-ce que tu vas faire ce week-end? Je vais faire du shopping en ville avec mes copines. Et qu'est-ce que tu vas porter? Je vais porter un jean et une sweat à capuche rose. Mais je ne sais pas que je vais acheter. Okay, I gave you a little bit of extra information there. If you need to rewind it, do, but here are your answers. So, give yourself marks for everything you got right. Mark your own work there for listening. If you didn't get hardly any of it, listen one more time with the answers, see whether you get it right this time. So, we're going to do our final activity now. I want you, if you're aiming for the first objective, to translate this, the second objective translate this, and the third objective translate this. Pause the screen now to give it a go. And your answers are as follows. Mark your own work. If you have any questions about what we've done today, please email Mrs. Cunningham, and I'll see you next week. Au revoir.